Hello everyone, this is lesson 5 and this lesson will be looking about namespaces. A namespace in C++ is like a container that holds names, and the aim is to prevent names conflicts. So think a namespace is like a container that holds names to prevent names conflicts. How names conflicts can occur in a C++ program? Assume you have two cases that have the same name of a variable, and then you have to declare the same variable for all cases. For example, if we have sex for male, let's say in character, cal sex for male will be M, and the same sex, cal sex for female will be F. If I try to output, let's say sex is, and then add sex, if I try to compile this program, I expect to see an error message. Let's try. Yes, I have received the error message that declaration of cal6, not cal6 previously declared here, where on line number 11. Yes, here we have sex male, and then we have redeclared again in line 12. But the sex for male is still M and the sex for female is still F. To solve this problem, we have to define the namespaces that will hold these names and then prevent this conflict you have seen. To do so, before the main function, let's define a namespace. For example, namespace male. This will store all variables for male, and then I'll move this my variable to the namespace male, and then to do so to the other namespace, I write again namespace female, and then in namespace female I will store this sex for female. Let me try to compile my program and see if the problem is now solved. Yes, I expected to see this kind of error. The namespaces I've already declared, but this value that is printed here is not declared is from what namespace. And we have suggestions here. You can use male and then resolution operators sex or female resolution operators sex. If you remember, in the first lesson we studied about how to declare cout without the line of using namespace std. It was from std and then the resolution operators, but this now do not come from a namespace std. It comes from namespace, let's say Mary, for example. Let's compile and run it. Now the program is compiled successful, and because the namespace used is male, here the namespace used is male, that's why it's printed M. To change it and print F, then the simplest way is to write here the namespace female, and then if we print this, now F is displayed from a namespace female. Another way is the way we used it to solve the problem here. For example, now in your program, your main function, you are just dealing with a single namespace. Instead of just writing a namespace and a resolution operator for every variable, you may write a single line like what we wrote here. Here we use the namespaces from std. But if you want to use namespace, let's say for example from female, this one, I'll leave it as sex, but before the main function I write here using namespace female. So this sex will be printed from a namespace female here. So I expected to see F. Exactly, sex F is printed. And also if I change this from female to male, to refer the namespace here. Now using namespace male, so I expect this sex to change from F to M. Let's see. That's all. So namespace in C++, think like it's a container that holds names to prevent names conflict. If it's your first time to visit this channel, you may subscribe, like and comment and share this video to others. See you on the next lesson. Goodbye.